Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm trying this for the first time using StreamYard. So we'll just do a little bit of checkups. Anyone in the comment section can let me know if video is clear, if sound is proper. So I believe we're live. I cannot see how it looks like on YouTube. So please do let me know in the comment section if everything is fine. Then we shall begin. All is well. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so we will be starting with the Mangalacharana prayer. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please type it in the comment section so that we can address them. So we shall now begin. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Taismai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishnum Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shivashakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Tamam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadishitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrind Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for joining the live stream. I'm just going to be wearing my hat. I'm having a kind of finishing a cold on the end of it. Hopefully I'll be able to speak properly throughout the whole session. So I have a bit of a stuffed nose. Excuse me for this. So okay, thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Okay, so today I did not choose any specific topic. I was thinking of having more of a Q&A session. So any question that you would like to have, we can discuss together. And if there are some topics that I'm not qualified to speak on, we can find some place to read together and we can learn together in this way. So, okay, so I'm using StreamYard, the free version. So it seems to be going well for now. So let me try a few. So we have Sami Prabhu here. We sing Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. I can highlight the comments like this. I like this. We have Radhika Saki Mataji from Singapore, who's doing wonderful service. Ravi Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I have Dimitri Prabhu here from Russia. We have, okay, Sami already we said. So, okay, many devotees are here. So this is nice that I can highlight the comments in this way. I like this. Again, I will say that if I get disconnected, please wait just a few minutes. I will come back because I have to use a VPN and the connection here is not so strong. In China already, internet is not always steady. Plus we are in the countryside, plus VPN. So all this adds up. Okay, so let us begin. We have here a question by Mosami Shimote. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can married couple keep Radha Krishna picture in their room? Okay, so it's all you see what we're trying to realize as a devotee advances spiritually, he will start to understand more and more that the form of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. So that is the goal. That's what we have to try to understand, because realizing Krishna, realizing Radha Krishna means realizing that they are absolute. So they're not different from their forms. They're not different from their names. They're not different from their qualities, paraphernalia, pastimes, entourage. So this is what we're trying to know. Now it's only theory. So concerning this, there's some quotes from deity worship that we can take a look at. Okay, now let me see. Present. Okay, now I can share my screen here. Let us try. Okay, so let me know, how is it that you're seeing? Are you seeing me in a small square and my screen next to me? Is this what you're seeing? Just type yes if that's what you're seeing, because this is what I'm showing now. Of course, you see an infinity screen. Okay, so I guess that you're seeing me and my screen next to me. Is this what you're seeing, or my screen is full screen? Okay, anyway, I will continue. So this is a nice quote that I've seen recently. You see, as grihastas, we have to be careful of something, and that is to commit offenses, especially when it comes to deity worship, Okay, I can see that the question is still highlighted. Okay. So pictures, of course, for pure devotee understands that the picture is not different from Radha Krishna themselves, but we do not understand that. It's nice to have Radha Krishna picture as much as possible in the house, actually. Srila Prabhupada wanted that, and that especially in his temple. Srila Prabhupada said that in the temple decoration, more picture the better. I mean, you must put Krishna everywhere, and okay, let us go see this. Let's go see this quote, and then temple decoration. Let's see picture. Did I see this here somewhere? I don't know if I've saved that quote about the more picture the better. More than 20 pages. Okay, you see, like the more, for example, here, this is very important business, deity worship. The more the deity is decorated, the more your heart will be decorated with Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So in spiritual life, more is better, when it comes to decoration in the temple, more is better. We should not try to be like minimalist, that, okay, I cannot decorate the deity too much. You have to be a simple or so on. Yeah, you see here another. I am pleased also that you're decorating your temple nicely, and the more you decorate the temple beautifully, the more your heart will be beautiful. The example is that the more you decorate the original, the more the reflection automatically is decorated. So our heart is the reflection of the original consciousness, Krishna. And the more Krishna and his paraphernalia are decorated, the more this will be reflected in our heart, and we will feel transcendental bliss. So that is, again, Prabhupada emphasizes that we have to decorate very gorgeously. Okay, anyway, I'm not finding this. But here, okay, so this is from Srila Jiva Goswami. You're all seeing, I believe, right? You're seeing my, yes, split screen, actually. Okay, so you're seeing me here, and then you're seeing I would like that my screen only be shown. Let me try something. Oh, okay, I can put like this. Okay, so this is me and the big screen behind. This is only me. All right. Okay, I think like this is good. All right, so this is from the Shrajiva Goswami Sri Bhakti Sandarbha. So he's saying, the rules of scripture are described in these words of the Vishnu Rahasya. So he's quoting from Vishnu Rahasya. By following the rules of worship and respectfully worshipping the deity of the Lord Hari, one attains a result 100 times better than the result of worshipping in ignorance of the rules. So why this is important, especially for us Grihasta, is that our deity worship at home, of course, Mataji or Prabhu, you're asking about picture, but it's related. So our deity worship at home should be of a good standard. It should not be done in a playful mood or neglectful mood. You see, 100 times better. These are not. This is not an exaggeration. It's an actual number. So that means that if one is following properly the Vidhi Marga, which means all the rule and regulation surrounding deity worship, his worship will make him advance 100 times faster than someone who's very neglectful. I'm sure most of you here are from India. So in India, you're already more pious than us outside of India. So for you, understanding the importance of the deity is easier than for us, because for us in the West, this is something new. In Christianity, they do not keep deities, or they have sometimes maybe, Lord Jesus or Mother Mary, but they do not worship. They do not dress. They do not wash. It's just like a statue. They treat it more like a statue, you see. But in India, you understand. To give you an example, one time in Singapore, I've given this example a few times. One time in Singapore, we sometimes go to the Buddhist temple, Guanyin temple, for getting some donation for prasadam distribution and so on. So next to that temple is a Hindu temple, so it's a Vishnu temple. So when the devotees, we pass in front of the temple, we are. So I passed in front of the temple. I was like this, and then I saw some Hindu person coming, and he removes his shoes. He's in the street. It's a walking street, so he removed his shoes first, and then he did that. Even though he was in the street, he was not within the temple. And then he put back his shoes and then kept walking. So I saw that, and I was very much wow. Just see the just by culture, you have got a great respect for deity. So this is important for us Grihasta. So when it comes to the picture, also we should try to treat the picture as reverently as possible. Because on the transcendental plane, there's no difference between picture and person. So just like the picture of Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, founder Acharya Viskan, he should not be, we should not put away. And sometimes I see, like my son's has many books about Krishna. So there's Krishna's on the cover, So sometimes I see maybe my son will put a pencil and it will be like across Krishna's face on his book, So I don't like seeing this. So I always remove and place the book nicely, in his bookshelf or something. Or sometimes the book is upside down, so I see Krishna upside down. I don't like that. So I try to put the book back, So, of course, for children's books and all, it's hard to treat it as reverently as we would do with Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, but as much as possible. Because the whole point is to develop priti, to have loving feelings. So we should treat the pictures in this way. So when it's in our room, we have to be very careful as to what we do in our room. So especially if husband and wife sleep together in the room, then that is very, how can you fully control? And if the wife wants to change clothes and so on, right? So here in Guangzhou temple, the Matajis, there are 3 of them, right? They don't keep generally pictures. There's Labanga Mataji. She has Yashoda. Yeah, she had Yashoda Krishna in her room. That's all. But the other brahmacharinis, if you can call them like that, the other Matajis, they they have no pictures in their room. Me personally, in my rooms, I also never kept. Now, this room is also my office. So maybe sometimes I will keep like one picture on my desk here. But outside in the living room and all, we try to put as many paintings as possible. I'm even planning to buy more and to put Krishna everywhere. So it is up. You have to see Mataji, Prabhu or Mataji. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman who has the question, but yes. So that's it. Okay. So just as reverently as possible, you know best your situation, and according to what you have seen and what we have read now, you can make your own choice. Okay. So sorry. Okay. So here we have Rohan Saxena, who is saying Indian Space Organization is landing on the moon in few days, but this contradicts Prabhupada's claim of moon distance based on Bhagavatam. Shall we accept Bhagavatam and Prabhupada are wrong? Definitely not. We shall accept that Indian Space Organization is wrong. You see, whatever that is very good actually, that this is testing our faith, and we should not simply accept that these scientists are correct, and that Bhagavatam is wrong like this. We should inquire. You see, when I heard this the first time, when I was a new Bhakta reading Prabhupada books, and I read this the first time, that Prabhupada said they never went to the moon. Immediately, yes, that challenged my faith. There's no doubt. I was thinking, oh. But what I did is I inquired into the matter. So I started to watch some documentary like Moon Landing Fake, and then I started to see the evidences that they never went to the moon. And for myself, I did some research. This is not the only thing. Srila Prabhupada even said that Hitler was not such a bad man. When I read that, I was thinking, how is that? I've always learned that he's killed 6 million Jews and so on and so on. So I did some research, and I found a documentary that says, that is called Adolf Hitler, the greatest story never told. And I watched the whole thing. It's many, many parts, and it was on YouTube, and it's amazing how much we've been lied. Of course, this is a completely other topic, but people because you need to understand something. There's a there's a group of people that control the history that we learn at school. There's a group of people that control the geography that we learn at school, that control the history, everything, the science. Just like at school, we learn that the evolution theory, is it not? But this is just a theory. There's no scientific proof that life can evolve from matter. They have not proved it but yet they put that in the books and they teach that to children. So this is the type of character that are leading our society at the moment. Srila Prabhupada said that the world is ruled by Rakshasas. Demons are in charge now. So again, so when I saw this documentary about Adolf Hitler, I saw footages of so-called concentration camps with kindergartens taking care of the little Jew children. They had some soccer court, where I could see it. It was a footage, of where the Jews would play with the Germans soldiers, and they would play very friendly, and people had money and they could buy things, and people looked like they were entertained. And then there was also, I've seen anyway, swimming pools, so these kind of things we don't see in the Hollywood movies. The Hollywood movies, in Hollywood, there's about only 6 companies that makes all these movies, big companies, and behind them, the top, controlling, there's a lot of people that are Jewish, and they will try to, make us believe all. And anyway, there's so many proofs, like the gas chamber, they say, where they kill so many Jews, the actual place to let the air go out was built after the war. There are so many evidences like this. So Srila Prabhupada said actually Adolf Hitler had the nuclear bomb, and he did not use it. He did not use it. So unless he had some morality, if he was such a crazy man, why he... So anyway, I don't want to be going too much into this topic, but my point is this, is that what we are being told by the authorities, it's all what they want us to believe. It's the same thing as here in China. I'm in China right now. And what do they say? They say that, the CCP is the best, communism is the best way, that this virus is so, to say, the way that they're treating people. I don't know if you've seen in the media how they make lockdowns, how they make us, just like we came back from Guangzhou a few days ago, and in Guangzhou now there's like thousands of cases every day. So because we came here, we had to do a nose test, every day, putting in the nose, like for like 5 days or something. Every day they came to our house and did the nose test. And maybe you've seen how the Foxconn company, Apple, there was 20,000 employees, they were locked up. And anyway, they're treating their citizens basically like objects, just to try to control this virus. But these things are not shown in China. You cannot see such footages. Me, I'm on YouTube and I'm seeing that, but the people here are being lied to. So it's the same thing, but on a big worldwide scheme. So now, concerning this moon, one of the documentary that I've watched at one point was this, and I think I have it on the computer here. Let me see if there's a video file. Okay, I can share a video file. Let me see if I'm trying this for the first time. Let me see. Okay, it's called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. Okay, so okay, yeah, so now you can see like this. Oh, this StreamYard is very well. I can show a video like this, and I think you can even hear the sound.
Fell. A machine age emerged, and once again the ingenuity of the species, which
hear the
held
sound?
dominion over all others, unveiled what was at the time.
Anyway, the sound is not so important, but I'd like to show you a few things of this so-called moon landing. This documentary is interesting. It shows, what would be behind the motivation of faking a moon landing, and it all makes a lot of sense. Okay, here you see this here. This is called the Van Allen's belt. There's what they called radiation, and again, you see this this Earth floating like this. This is, again, it's not exactly how the Earth is according to Srimad Bhagavatam. This is another thing we've been taught in school, but they don't have one single picture of the Earth like this. Even though they say they're sending so many spaceships and all, it would be very easy to just put some camera on the spaceship and take a nice clean picture of the globe. There's not one single real picture of Earth as a globe. This doesn't exist, and I can prove it to you later on. So here, this is the Van Allen's belt. So the first time that they tried to send someone in a spaceship trying to cross over this Van Allen's belt, the astronauts that were there, they described, even though they had the eyes closed, they described seeing sparks of lightning or like fiery. That means that there was some sort of particles that were penetrating through the spaceship, through their helmet and through their eyelids, and was basically hurting them. So you cannot even cross that. This is what they're explaining in that documentary. Now, okay, this is the whole history behind this. Okay, this is when the 3 astronauts who so-called went to the moon. This is what they look like in their press conference when they came back. Do they look like men who have just gone to the moon and have brought glories upon their country, or did they look like men who are lying to the entire world? Okay, that's another thing. There's many things. We're not going to go through all of them. For example, okay, so here you can see there's a C on the rock there. All right, so small things like that. Here you can see the cross. The cross is going behind the pole. It's not supposed to be like this. This artifact is supposed to be on the camera itself, so it should be on top of every. So they saw many things like this in different pictures. And okay, this is a flag. They say that there's no wind on the moon, right?
Though they had fewer parts than a Jeep. Where was all this money going?
Let me know if you're hearing the audio.
Then there's the flag, blowing in the wind, at least twice, on the atmosphereless moon.
Okay,
we can only guess that most of the missions were staged inside for fear of possible aerial or satellite.
So you saw the flag, drifting in the wind. So this is one thing. Now, okay, this is the most, you see here, this film of the Apollo 11 mission was produced as a report filmed by the Manned Spacecraft Center and is not for general public distribution. So that was not
received by mistake.
shown by us. Seen
It
by us.
contains the raw or unedited footage of the crew of Apollo 11, Michael Collins, Edwin Aldrin Jr., and Neil Armstrong, staging part of their mission for nearly an hour in living color.
Okay, so this is the footage that we know of the Earth as a globe, taken from their so-called spaceship. I mean, so that's what they showed us. That's what they showed the public also. But what is this exactly?
Exceptionally clear behind-the-scenes audio of conversations discussing the techniques used to achieve a disingenuous picture depicting the Earth.
No. Okay, so Rohan Sanexa, you're saying that the astronaut was trying to fix the pole. No, you have not seen. At one point, he tried to fix the pole, but then it went the other way. We'll go back again. You have not seen properly. Okay, this is another thing first. You see the shadow are crossing. There's supposed to be one source of light only, the sun. So why would shadow go in different directions? That means there's some spotlight. Okay, where was this? Okay, look closely. He's making it spin in one direction, but then it goes in the
Though
other
they
direction.
had fewer parts than a Jeep. Where was all this money going? Then there's the flag, blowing in the wind, at least twice.
Okay, now he's turning it. But you see, even if he would be turning it like this, if there's no air, why is the flag moving like this? There's not supposed to be any, but okay, anyway. Yeah, because the pole will be making it drag. Maybe, I'm not sure about the physics. But you see, he's bringing it one side. Then see what happens.
On the atmosphereless moon. We can only guess that most of the missions were staged inside.
You see, then the flag goes like this, the opposite way. Anyway, this is not the real convincing fact. The real convincing fact is this here.
Sunlight from entering the spacecraft through the other windows as to not cause any reflected light to fall onto the spacecraft's wall in the foreground.
So actually what we're seeing this, all the black that you're seeing this is within the space shuttle or wherever they are. And this is simply a rounded window. So the cameraman is at the back of the room and they closed all the light and they're filming through a hub, through a round window.
Very good. Well, we shut out the sun coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft, so it's looking through the number one window and there isn't any reflection.
So you see what he said, we shut off the light. We shut out the sun coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft so that the inside walls do not show.
Coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft, so it's looking through the number one window and there isn't any reflected light.
The reason this was done is so that the truth of the matter would not be revealed. It is this. Though the federal government would have you believe that this is a view of Earth from a distance out of the spacecraft's
Can anyone say, yes, we hear the audio of the video?
Window as it nears the moon, it is not. What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground. Outside.
Can anyone let me know if you're hearing the audio of the video? I'm letting it play now because I'm thinking that you're hearing, but if yes, okay, all right.
Side of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance, with the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the blackness of space around it.
Okay,
that is why they want
the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the darkness of space. It's actually
the interior dark and blocked out the sun
carefully
from entering through the other windows. Here you can see the extruded window, probably 2 inches thick at the bottom. This is because the Earth's shine is coming in at a downward angle. It also causes the Earth to appear to be an irregularly shaped circle, for you are seeing the outside of the window at the bottom and the inside of the window at the top, which together form 2 different sized halves of a circle. Subsequently, this take was never used. As they perfected the shot, a crescent-shaped piece of black material was inset slightly into the window to create the illusion of the Earth's terminator line dividing night and day. It is uncannily convincing. During this segment, intended to be edited and played back later for the worldwide television audience, dated July 18th, 1969, Neil Armstrong condemns himself as he states that he is 130,000 miles out, or halfway to the moon, as the NASA flight log also states on this date, when he is in reality in low Earth orbit of a few hundred miles.
Roger, Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out.
So you understand what she's explaining here. He's saying this is what is supposed to be heard by the public. Roger, Houston, Apollo 11, calling in from about 130,000 miles out. He's saying like that, but actually he's in low Earth orbit. He's not so far, He's maybe even an airplane can fly that high. So you see, so this is what they're trying to make us think, that he's that far.
Here, during another segment, also intended to air after review, Neil Armstrong falsely explains to the viewers how the shot is attained by putting the camera's lens to the window's glass, as it would have to be if they were the claimed distance away from the Earth.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled.
Okay, Rohan Saxena, please keep watching. It's
up with the TV camera.
If the window was completely filled up with a TV camera, as he stated, then an astronaut's arm would not be able to get between the camera and the window, as it obviously does here in this outtake.
South America becomes invisible just off beyond the Terminator or inside
When
the
you saw
shadow.
something got in between, how can it get in between?
You can
It's
also
dark
notice
space.
how the
Okay, and that's not the end.
being
Here.
recorded,
Continue.
much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window.
There you go. Look, see this? That's
Here
your
is the
Earth. That is your Earth right there. This circle, this round window there.
slate for the 19th of July. And the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July.
So you see, how can you trust people like this? So Prabhupada was completely convinced when he saw the so-called moon landing. He was also watching, and he said, "Yeah, this is wrong, that is wrong." He pointed out a few things. For example, you look at the moon at night on a full moon day. How bright it is! How beautiful, shining it is! It is sparkling, isn't it? And they go there and they land there, and everything is gray and turned and no light. Show me how does it work in physics that the closer you get to something, the less bright it gets. How? Right? So I'm not going to believe anyone who says they go to the moon. Why? Because the moon is a heavenly planet and there are living beings there. Okay? There are living entities. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand that very advanced living entities live there and they can hide themselves from us. So I'm not going to believe anyone who says they go to the moon, because you cannot stay there anyway. The way to go to the moon is there in the Vedas. There's some sacrifice that you have to do and so on, so it's possible, but you need to leave this body and you need to get a moon body. What's the use of going to the moon anyway? This is all childish, It's just going to the moon and say, I've touched it, you see, I'm better than you. That's all. Because what are you going to do there? The scientists, they say it's minus 200 Celsius on the moon. Okay, let's say we believe them. So what? Then what are you going to do? What is the use of going there? You need a body that is suitable to live in the minus 200 Celsius. How can you live there? So this is all childish display. Okay, so I think that I hope that you're convinced. We learn from Srimad Bhagavatam that the moon is much farther than what they say. And another thing is that the moon is fixed, isn't it? They said that you cannot see behind. It's always fixed like that in an orbit, isn't it? So how come? they say everything is spinning. They say the moon was born from the earth. Some asteroid came and then a piece of earth got detached and then it started to spin. How can it stop spinning? They say that everything keeps going on and on and on, rotating. And if there's earth attraction attracting the moon, then it keeps doing a pull. That's their theory, right? The gravitation, it keeps doing a pull. So how come that pull is not making the ball spin? So many. Okay, I'll show you something else concerning this this thing. All right, present video file. This is okay, I don't know if I can find this. Legend of Buddha. According to them, okay, yes, here it is. Oops.
You'd be wrong. In reality, it looks a lot
This is what they say. The sun is in the middle, solar system, and all the planets are
more
rotating
like
around
this. The Earth moving around.
But then they say the sun is rotating around the middle of the galaxy, isn't it?
Around the sun in a corkscrew shape, and the rest of the planets are doing the same.
So you have the Earth, they say, that is spinning on its orbit. Then the Earth is spinning around the sun like this. Then the sun is spinning around the middle of the galaxy. And it's not spinning in a straight orbit. It's spinning in a circular orbit like this. Okay.
How is this possible? Well, for one, our entire solar system rotates around our Milky Way galaxy at an insane 220 kilometers per second. Not only
220 kilometers. What is it? 200 and what did they say?
if you thought that this solar system rotates around our Milky Way galaxy at an insane 220 kilometers per second.
220 kilometers per second. 1, 2. Okay. And
not only that, our entire solar system plane is tilted forward about 60 degrees in reference to our galaxy's plane. And when you trace out all
okay, so it's tilted. That means, it's not with the galaxy's plane. Okay, so it's tilted like this. It goes like this in a spiral way. The Earth rotates and it goes around this. All this craziness.
all that movement,
going
you
on.
can see our planet spiraling through space in beautifully organized chaos.
Yeah,
so if
right.
you think about it, Earth is not only our planet, but it's also kind of a...
Okay, now my point is this. All this crazy stuff is happening. Complete madness of motion is going on. And every day at night, we go out and we see that the pole star is fixed. How is that? You tell me, how is that? The pole star is fixed. It was fixed 1,000 years ago. It was fixed 2,000 years ago. We learned from Lord Jesus Christ. He was born. The king sages, they followed the pole star. We learned from 3,000, 4,000 years ago. The Chinese were using the pole star to navigate their Chinese ship. The pole star is there in the Vedas also 5,000 years ago. They speak of it. So even if we don't take from the Vedas, from common sense, with this crazy thing that they're showing us here, all this spinning and going and this and that, because this is our solar system, isn't it? The pole star is far away. It's in a different area of space, they say. You're telling me that the pole star is going to stay fixed every single night? With all this crazy madness going on of movement, every single night the pole star will be something else. The stars will be different. But how come we know 100 years ago what the star looked like on January 1st? We know exactly what time the sun is going to, which star is going to rise on which date, right? We all know this. All of you in India, you know about that, this the science of astrology. They know, okay, the pole star is going to rise at which time, on which day in 10 years from now. Everything is fixed so nicely. And you're telling me all of this is going on and people are being cheated, isn't it? So I'm sorry, but we have been brainwashed like anything. Everything we learn at school is garbage, except reading and writing and a little bit of mathematics. Except that the history and this and that, I don't buy it. So okay, all right. There's a lot of happening in the comment section, so we'll have to hurry up. So let me remove this. Okay. Yes, so, all right. Now, Okay, Krishna's devotee life is saying how to control lusty thought, especially in teenage. Yes, okay, that is a very big topic in itself. I think there's other question I'll try to answer it as fast as possible. The thing is that lust is never going to leave us unless we replace it with something, and that is service. Unless we stay engaged in service somehow or other, lust is going to affect us. So you cannot just stop lust. It's not possible. You have to be doing something else. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that by experiencing a higher taste, then we can give up sense gratification. That's the only way. Unless you experience something higher, you won't be able to give up the inferior energy. So in order to do that, the first step is that you have to associate with devotees. And the strongest type of association is to go and live with them physically. In this way, you're immersed, if we live in a temple, or at least next to the temple, and we stay engaged in different types of services, our mind won't have time for all this stuff. It's not that devotees don't go out. They go out. The devotees in the temple, they go out. They see all the girls outside and all. And but because they have got a mission, they got something to do. I have to go do this, I have to go do that. Because they engage in service for Krishna, then they can counteract. Now, if you want some little tips, for example, okay, one thing is that we should not eat too heavy food and protein. If you eat too heavy food and protein, just like tofu or urad dal, or too much paneer like that, then yes, it makes the sexual organs stronger, isn't it? And if you oversleep also, everybody knows that if you sleep, let's say more than 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours at a straight, your sexual organ become agitated. So therefore you have to minimize eating and sleeping. Because if the modern day life, they think that to make the senses strong is the goal of life. But for a brahmana, the senses don't have to be that strong. A brahmana is generally lean and thin. So it's because he doesn't need to have that much energy to do his duty. But when we eat a lot, we sleep a lot, we go and play some soccer, football, we watch passionate things, then of course the mode of passion will be ignited, and we will feel lust much more easily. And another thing is to that's the thing, not try to expose ourselves to a situation where our lust will be awakened. So if we can, instead of, let's say, if you want to take the japa walk and chant Hare Krishna, then go in a place where there's not much people. Don't go like next to the shopping mall, where it's very passionate and all the girls, they go there to show themselves. Of course you'll be agitated. So it's you have to make plans in this way, and that is spoken of by Srila Narada Muni. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Sharing my screen. So this is 7:15:22 Srimad Bhagavatam. Asankalpa jayat kamam krodham kama vivarjanat arthanarthakshayalubham bhayam tadva pamarsanat. By making plans with determination, one should give up lusty desires for sense gratification. So we have to make plans, you see. So there has to be some plan with determination. That means you have to, planning means what? Planning means having a schedule. What I'm going to do next, what I'm going to do today, So a spiritual schedule. I have to wake up early in the morning. I have to chant my rounds nicely. Let's try to do a little Mangal Arti, eat only Krishna Prasadam in this way. That is another thing. If you eat food cooked by a karmi, you're becoming infected with the three modes of material nature. And the subtle law is that whatever state of contamination that person has, he will be sharing with you. So therefore, if a very lusty person cooks and you're eating in a restaurant, you are going to be agitated very easily. That is experience. Every devotee who eats only Krishna Prasadam knows that if they have to eat outside food or what, they would become more agitated. Similarly, by giving up envy, one should conquer anger. By discussing the disadvantages of accumulating wealth, one should give up greed. And by discussing the truth, one should give up fear. So now we're speaking about lusty desires. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has suggested how one can conquer lusty desires for sanskritification. One cannot give up thinking of women, for thinking in this way is natural. Even while walking on the street, one will see so many women. However, if one is determined not to live with a woman, even while seeing a woman, he will not become lusty. So this is the power of brahmacharya. If one stays brahmachari in the temple and doesn't associate with women, he will not become agitated. But if one is always with women, that is different. Of course, some of you might be students, some of you might, and when I say women, women for women means men. Okay, so Matajis, you can understand all these things by switching the word women for men. But for Mataji, it's a little different because every Mataji is encouraged to get married, whereas Prabhus are encouraged to not get married if they can control, if they can tolerate. So if one is determined not to have sex, he can automatically conquer lusty desires. So to not have sex doesn't mean that I will look at women day in, day out, but I won't have sex. No, it's not possible. You will be having... So we have to minimize. That means what? That means I should not think of women. I should not talk of women. I should not, you see, not that women are bad or this or that. This is the way that the Lord, through his external energy, is keeping the conditioned souls within this material world. It's Durga Devi who's doing this. This attraction between men and women. This is the locking potency that is keeping us here. The example is given in this regard is that even if one is hungry, if on a particular day he is determined to observe fasting, he can naturally conquer the disturbances of hunger and thirst. If one is determined not to be envious of anyone, he can naturally conquer anger. So that's the thing. Determination has to be there. On fasting days, we know, like Janmashtami, okay, we're going to be fasting. So there's no question of eating. We don't even consider. So that kind of determination we need to have also. So, but this will come, with association of devotees, chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles. We have to do these things, not eating outside, okay? Only eating Kṛṣṇa Prasadam, all right? So this is for now what we're going to be saying. We'll pass to an next question, Prabhuji. So if you have more questions on this matter, you can always join one of our group and discuss this. Okay, so Sami Prabhu was saying, I'm not so sure how they can prove that they are landing to the moon and not some other place. Yeah, anyway, this is in 1960 something, right? Why nobody has gone back? Like the first man who climbed the Everest, immediately some second men wanted to do, third man, fourth man, fifth man, sixth man. This is in the nature. Everybody wants to go. So why not another nation? And they say that the technology that was used on that spacecraft back then, now a simple normal watch, numerical watch, not even Apple Watch, normal watch is more powerful than that. Come on, so many things. Okay. Okay, Shravan Kumar, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, asking material wealth with God is... So if you go to Krishna for material wealth, that is better than if you try to win it without asking him. If you want material wealth, yes, but better you ask the Lord for it. But it's not going to satisfy, material wealth is going to come automatically for one who surrenders to the Lord. If you, just like, those who are preaching, they have got so much money because the temple has got so much money, isn't it? Like our Singapore temple now is about to buy $1 million property. So much money is there. So there's no need of working separately. But of course, for a Grihasta who wants to work, he wants to buy a house and all these things, then yes, no problem. You can pray to Krishna to have money, but you have to give some of that money back to Krishna. Not that you pray to him and then when money comes, you keep it and you go, to travel to Thailand and this and that. No, you have to give money to the temple because money is very dangerous. If you start to make money and you don't use it for Krishna, then you're finished. You can say bye-bye to your spiritual life. Money is very, very dangerous if we don't know how to use it. Let me show a few verses here. Okay. So here, this is Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:27-8. Maybe we can go to the... Okay, so here, for his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earns without great difficulty. He should not eat more than what is necessary. He should live in a secluded place and always be thoughtful, peaceful, friendly, compassionate, and self-realized. So for his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earns without great difficulty. This is an important point. We should not over-endeavor. If we can find a part-time job and not work like an ass and be satisfied with what comes, that's fine. But if we think that, no, I must buy this big house in the corner of the street over there, it has 3 floors, and why have such a huge house? When we sleep at night, we only need a 6-foot bed, isn't it? Why such a big place? So we should be satisfied with, minimum thing. Minimize. The whole point of spiritual life in the beginning is to minimize the material side. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So this defending, this mating, this eating, you need a griha. Okay. But the griha doesn't have to be a castle. The house can be a modest house, and be satisfied. When I was still working, I boiled down to work only 3 hours a day at one point, and that was all. And it was enough. I had enough to pay the rent. I had enough to buy fruits, vegetables, grains, and so on. And I had a little bit enough for, taking care of my wife and sons, and that was it. I was not thinking of amassing money. I never thought of that to make the bank balance grow. That is actually it's a dangerous mentality. That is greed. Prabhupada said he always made money and spent money, even in his grihastha ashram. He never kept money. He said like that, I never make money and look at money. Make money and look at money, oh, I got money. He said, I made money and I spent money, always. Even in his business, he invested in the business. He gave donation to the Gaudiya Math temples, So we should have this kind of mentality also, that we make some money and we spend it for Krishna, or whatever we need at home, we buy or whatever, and then, okay, make some more money and spend. Not that make money and lick money, That's very dangerous. Very easily we can become entangled with money. Because why? Kali is there. Kali entered money. Why do you think the world is in a mess right now? It's all because of money. And Kali is there. Is making all those countries are fighting with one another, because ultimately power, money, right? Okay, you're still seeing my screen here. This is in the purport of 3:30:31 Bhagavatam. The great learned scholar Chanaka Pandita says, therefore, that whatever one has in his possession had better be spent for the cause of Sat, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because one cannot take his possessions with him. They remain here, and they will be lost. Either we leave the money, or the money leaves us, but we will be separated. The best use of money, as long as it is within our possession, is to spend it to acquire Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We always think of, best investment. Sometimes we think, where can I invest my money that is going to grow tenfold? Or the best place to invest is to give to Krishna, because Krishna is going to give it back also. It's not that Krishna is not going to reward us. Of course, this should not be the motivation that I give to Krishna so that he gives me back something. But definitely he will. Prabhupada said one day that there was a devotee building a temple, and Prabhupada said, the Lord is building a palace for you in Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world. So you see this picture here. So this old man has got all his bonds and paper and all. So Death is telling him, you throw that in the trash and you get in the hole. This is what is going to happen to all of us at one point, right? The body is going to be unworkable. So whatever assets we have here has to stay here. We're going to leave alone. So better spend it for the cause of Sat, for the welfare of the soul. Okay, here. That is a very important one. Narada Muni 10:10:8. Narada Muni said, among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful features: taking birth in an aristocratic family and being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages his wealth in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. So, you know these four things, right? These are the result of pious activity. When we do piety, we will take our birth, as being beautiful, as being very intelligent, having money, and taking birth in an aristocratic family. But Narada Muni said that out of these four things, the attraction for riches bewilders one's intelligence more. That's the worst, more than being handsome or beautiful, more than having a high family, more than being learned. So making money, you have to be very, very careful. So instead of praying to the Lord, please give me money, we should pray to the Lord, please give me the intelligence on how to use money in your service. And if you learn that, then the Lord will automatically give us what we need. Here, other things can be sometimes minimized, like anger and all, but greed cannot. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Text 20. Kamasyantam hi kshutrabhyam krodhasya phaladuyat janoyati nalobhasya jidva bhuktadisho bhuvah. The strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst are certainly satisfied when he eats. So this problem is solved, right? When we're hungry, we eat, finished. Similarly, if one becomes very angry, that anger is satisfied by chastisement and its reaction. Sometimes we might be angry to, let's say, I'm angry to my son. Then I chastise him and I see him cry. Okay, immediately I'm not angry anymore, right? But as for greed, even if a greedy person has conquered all the directions of the world or has enjoyed everything in the world, still he will not be satisfied. Not possible. Even though you reach the border of this universe, which one demon did, Hiranyakashipu, he did it. The entire universe was his. He controlled. I don't think that these are fables. There's actually, there's races, there's mighty people out there on other planets, and they deal in universal affairs, not in country international affairs. No, they are much higher, universal affairs, how to conquer different planets. So such people are there, and he did it, and he was not satisfied yet. So money is going to burn you if you don't know how to deal with it. But the more you become qualified to use money in the service of the Lord, the more Krishna will give you some. Maharaj Yudhishthir, he had the entire world. It was his. And he knew how to use it in the service of the Lord. Okay, Nina Kaur, Prabhuji, how can I contact you? I'm looking for some connection as I'm looking to build a center in London and need some guidance on fundraising. Yes, so you can contact us. I'm putting my contact number here. This is my WhatsApp and my Telegram, so you can contact me. Okay, let me see where we are. All right. Okay. Okay, Raunak Gupta. When traveling outside, how to offer food to Krishna, as every time it's not possible to carry items with you? Okay, best thing is to traveling, like for example, if it's just a one-day traveling, going to work or something, you just cook a lot in the morning. When you're at home, you cook a lot and you pack this and you eat that. We should not take this as an excuse that, I have to go to work every day, I cannot. No, we have to be serious. This is our spiritual life. We have to protect ourselves and not eat outside food, contaminated food. But if you're traveling, going far places and all, then normally the devotees, what they do, they bring some small cooker or something that easy. When I travel on my own, I bring one cooker, and what I do, I simply bring some mung dal and some rice and some vegetables and some knife and some. So I put some ghee, I put the mung dal and the rice directly in the ghee, I fry it, a little bit like this. I put a lot of ghee, I just fry it. I add some water. I add the vegetables, the salt, the turmeric, whatever. I mix that. Boom, that's it. So one pot, you boil that, and you have your khichdi, and that's it. And I eat this. So there's a way to not have to carry too much, and you can still cook in the hotel or as you're traveling. Now, if there's absolutely no choice, you don't know what to do, then try to eat some fruits, vegetables from outside. Sometimes they have some steamed potatoes or corn, steamed corn, things that are not cooked. That is the best in this way. Now, if really, even though you're sincerely tried everything and you're starving or something, then what to do? You go trying to find a vegetarian restaurant, and you take something if you think that you're gonna die. But I mean, it's possible to fast. But best thing is to arrange. As I said, you arrange something simple. Prabhupada was doing this, what I've just said, on the pan, he would put the basmati rice directly frying in ghee. He wouldn't even wash the rice, because if you wash, then it's wet, right? It's hard to, you just put a lot of ghee, you put the rice directly and you fry it. And then you can add some water later on, and all the vegetables, and you mix that, and simple, easy peasy, right? And why it's important, because if you're not serious about that, then forget about spiritual advancement. If we eat outside food every day, in the beginning it's kind of hard to accept these things, but as one advances, he will understand why it's so important. Okay. Okay, here, this is just a quick sentence that Prabhupada says, Bhagavatam 4:21-24. For example, if one eats in a place which is very sinful, he shares in the resultant reaction of the sinful activities performed there. In my beginning, when I started Kṛṣṇa Consciousness, and I was not in association of any standard devotee, fixed up devotee, I did not know all these things. So I thought that I'll go to the pizza place and I'll just order a vegetarian pizza, and then I'll say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, and I'll eat like that. Because this is what they do. When you travel, if you want to offer something, you can offer in your mind, in your heart. Let's say you buy some fruits. You can hold the fruits like this, and Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. But it should be felt. It should be, with I mean to say, emotion, feelings that, my Lord, I'm offering these fruits to you. You're the creator of everything. Please accept them. I'm in an awkward position. I would like to have something to eat, so I'm offering them to you first. In this way, the Lord will accept. But if you're buying something, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, this is offensive. This is like Krishna is your sin removal machine. Bzz, Shri Vishnu, next thing, bzz, Shri Vishnu. Okay, it's sinless. Now I can just gobble it. That's not good. It's all about feelings. Okay, here, this is Antya Lila, chapter 6, 278. Vishaira khaile malina hayamana malina man haile naha Krishna rasmarana. When one eats food offered by a materialistic man, one's mind becomes contaminated. And when the mind is contaminated, one is unable to think of Krishna properly. You see? So just like I was saying, eating that vegetarian pizza, I'm still taking part in the sinful activities that they're doing there. They're serving meat. So I'm taking part in that sin. And here it is said, if you take food cooked by a materialistic man, one's mind becomes polluted, and you're not unable to think of Krishna properly. Already to think of Krishna is hard, isn't it? It's not that we're very good at it at the moment. So why make it even harder? So, okay, it's not so long. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur suggests that people who are materialistically inclined and sahajiyas, or so-called Vaishnavas, who take everything very casually, are both Vishayi materialists. So sahaja are those who take everything very casually. So yeah, eating at Pizza Hut is fine. Yeah, it is. I can understand if you're a beginner, you don't know. All right, but if there's one devotee here in China, of course, now he has left his body. I don't want to be finding fault with him. We actually liked him. But we discuss things for our own benefit, so it's not fault finding. So we got to a new temple, and I was saying, oh, this is a nice place, there's a lot of people, we can do prasadam distribution. And he said, yeah, but there's no Pizza Hut. He said like that, and he was many years in the movement, many decades. So it's dangerous to associate with such a person. Okay, eating food offered by them causes contamination. Are you seeing? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I was this is what I was reading just now. Eating food offered by them causes contamination, and as a result of such contamination, even a serious devotee becomes like a materialistic man. Even a serious devotee. So even though you're serious, you think, no, I won't. I eat outside; it won't affect me. No, it doesn't work like that. We're not. We should not try to defy the laws of material nature. This is foolish. It's not because we become a devotee that we think that now material nature doesn't have any influence on me. No. There are 6 kinds of association: giving charity, accepting food, offering food, talking confidentially, and inquiring confidentially. One should very carefully avoid associating with both the Sahajiyas, who are sometimes known as Vaishnavas, and the non-Vaishnavas or Avaishnavas. So you see, there are some so-called Vaishnavas we should not associate with. We should not even accept what they cook. This is the purport here. Their association changes the transcendental devotional service of the Lord Krishna into sense gratification. And when sense gratification enters the mind of a devotee, he is contaminated. The materialistic person who aspires after sense gratification cannot properly think of Krishna. So this is why we have to be strict about not eating outside. Okay. Okay, let me see now. What is this? In the Chennai. Okay. Now you're saying here, okay, India, China, Israel, UK, Russia, Korea, Germany, France have all done moon explorations, not just USA. Anyway, you gonna believe any of these people? I don't believe any of these guys. So much lie these people are telling us. I read the conversation today. Prabhupada was saying that those who go into politics are the most wicked, the most crooked. It attracts only the wicked people. Just like, okay, let's say, now, will you become a mayor or will you become president of a country? What can you do? Even though you try to do something, they'll kill you, right? Gandhi was killed. President Kennedy was killed. Another, the Pakistani man also, he was shot. So it's not that you can do whatever you want, and no, you have to abide by some people who are there, and if they're happy with you, they'll keep you. If not, so only crooked people go in the government. You cannot do anything anyway to help them. Let's say you become the just like this new prime minister of UK. He's Indian, right? He's saying he's not gonna stop cow slaughter. No, I'm gonna respect the farmers and this and that. So what can you do? He cannot stop cow killing. Then what is the use of becoming a leader? If you cannot rule according to the laws of God. Vini Sharma Mataji is saying, Prabhuji, if Krishna comes only once in 1000 Chatur Yugas, then who comes in the rest of the Yugas? Same question with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu too. Please explain. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu follows Krishna. That means he also comes only when Krishna comes. So he is also very rare, very special. Concerning this, there's a quote. Let me see here. So actually this is Prabhupada saying only. Okay, sharing the screen here. So this is a conversation, Prabhupada. So Achyutananda is saying, there are many other planets on the earth level, Prabhupada, yes. But Krishna only comes to this planet, yes. So this is a very special planet, yes, Vrindavan. And every time Lord Krishna appears, So Lord Chaitanya comes after Kṛṣṇa comes. And if Kṛṣṇa does not come, you're saying who comes? This, as I said, there are some things I cannot answer. What we know from the Dashavatara song is that Lord Balaram is the 10th incarnation. Not the 10th incarnation. He is the incarnate. We think that we see the Dashavatara picture sometime. And we see this, sometimes they put Kṛṣṇa there. Actually, it's Balaram. Balaram is part of the incarnations, not Kṛṣṇa. So, if Kṛṣṇa does not come, who comes? I do not know, Mataji. I cannot say, but it's him. The Lord is always taking care of upholding religious principles, right? And it's not that necessarily he comes sometimes, just like Prabhupada has come, right? And the movement is being revived. The real Dharma has emerged again. Okay. So Vishakha Devpura is saying, Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, why you have become full-time devotee, as Krishna says that we should not give up our duties? Yes. If one is not capable of taking up a higher duty, he should not give up the inferior duty. But if he's capable of taking a higher duty, he can give up the inferior duty. And what is higher duty? Higher duty means getting closer and closer to the duty of the soul. So this should not be imitated. It should not be prematured, because if it is prematured, it will actually have an adverse effect. So to please Krishna only is our actual duty. There should be no other consideration. Just like the gopis, isn't it a mother's duty to breastfeed her child? Of course. The child is helpless. He has no other shelter. But the gopis, they left their breastfeeding, they left the baby on the floor, and they went and ran to Krishna, because Krishna was calling them with the flute. So how to understand this? We don't comprehend, because we have got this always material inclination of performing our duties on the bodily concept, that this body is the body of this baby, and therefore I have to. So all these things are there, and if we hear such thing, also even we might become disturbed why the gopis did like that and so on. So we cannot understand these things. So as long as we don't have the realizations of such things, we cannot imitate. It will destroy our spiritual life, actually. So I became full-time again when I started to have the realization that one does not need to work if he simply preaches. And in the beginning, I could not get that. I was not understanding that, because we always use our own mundane logic that if I don't work, how will money come? How can I maintain my wife, my children? All these make sense. These are normal thoughts, but mundane logic collapses when it comes to devotional service. Devotional service is beyond that. So, and it's not that I gave up all my duties as a grihasta. No, my wife is there. She's got her clothes and food. My children are there. They have their clothes and their food. My children are getting some education. So it's not that I gave up those duties. I'm not ready to give up those duties. It would be much too premature for me to take sannyas. I'm not at all anywhere near to be ready for that. So therefore I perform those duties. But side by side, I try to preach. So, okay. Because if we are too attached to family life, it will create an impediment for our spiritual advancement. You see, there is more leniency for women, because women by nature are much more attached to family life, right? House, husband, and children. So for them, it is not as bad as for a man. But for a man to be too attached to wife and children, it will spoil his spiritual advancement. There's no doubt about that, even though if he's a devotee. So therefore, we have to learn to slowly give up the inferior duties and accept higher duties. Now, I'll be sharing this. Here, this is Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:32-40. It is not to be instructed to persons, here we're speaking about transcendental knowledge. It is not to be instructed to persons who are too greedy and too attached to family life. No, to persons who are non-devotees and who are envious of the devotees and of the personality of Godhead. And here, Prabhupada says, okay, persons who are always planning to do harm to other living entities are not eligible to understand Kṛṣṇa consciousness and cannot enter into the realm of transcendental loving service to the Lord. Also, there are so-called disciples who become submissive to the spiritual master most artificially with an ulterior motive. They also cannot understand what Kṛṣṇa consciousness or devotional service is. Persons who, due to being initiated by another sect of religious faith, do not find devotional service as the common platform for approaching the Supreme. Okay, this is about faith. Like, let's say I really like Christianity, and I keep trying to impose some Christian principle, even though I've been initiated. That's what Prabhupada means here. What I want to do is here. Generally, materialistic persons are after some name, fame, and material gain. So if someone takes to Kṛṣṇa consciousness for these reasons, he will never be able to understand this philosophy. Such persons take to religious principles as a social decoration. They admit themselves into some culture institution for the sake of name only, especially in this age. Such persons also cannot understand the philosophy of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Even if one is not greedy for material possessions, but too attached to family life, he also cannot understand Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Superficially, such persons are not very greedy for material possessions, but they are too attached to wife, children, and family improvement. When a person is not contaminated by the above-mentioned faults, yet at the ultimate issue is not interested in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if he's a non-devotee, he also cannot understand. Okay, so you see, that's the point I'm saying here. To be too attached to wife, children, and family will spoil our spiritual advancement. This is the hard part, in our Kṛṣṇa consciousness, that for us grihasta, that we have to give up that material attachment, but it has to be given up in small drops. If it is cut all of a sudden, it will have an adverse effect. But we have to discuss these things. Otherwise, how will we give up? Because after all, we have to give up at one point. It's not that we will remain together forever, husband and wife. Death will come, so we will be separated. But Vedic culture says that before you are forced to separate against your will, you separate for a higher purpose. You give up the inferior duty for a higher duty. So that's why that even the wife, she also has to undergo some austerity. Vanaprastha means the wife also leaves the children for some time. Husband and wife, they go and they preach, or they tour holy places. And this way there's some separation, If you see the great Vedic women, like Kunti Devi, after when the Pandavas went in exile for 13 years, Srimati Kunti Devi, she did not go. She stayed at Vidura's house. And in Vidura's house, she was protected. And what did she do? She became very austere. She had the Vishnu Murti in her room. She had the sacrificial fire always there. And she started to eat very little. And so women also have to start to learn at one point to become detached from family life. It's harder for them, but it's not that there should not be any endeavor. It has to be there. And what we learn from such women, Srimati Kunti Devi, she prayed to the Lord, that please sever my attachment for my family members, because she was bewildered. Vrishni, the Kuru, she was in the middle, all of this. So she could understand that I'm having some feelings for my sons and this. So all these material attachment are bewildering us. It's bewildering. Why are we feeling so bad when our children are getting sick, but we don't care when we see another sick child in the street, practically? How come? He's also a spirit soul. He's also a living entity, but our children, we feel like it's a thunder blow. And then other children, we don't care. So giving up material concept of life, this material duty, is actually widening our spectrum of love, not focusing it on only my family. Because if you're too attached to one family, then you will become more and more envious of other families. It's two sides of the same coin. If you're too attached to your family, my son has to be the best. Then you see another child becoming better than you become envious of that child, right? So we have to march slowly towards that. And giving up earnings and taking to the preaching path is very good if one is capable of doing it. You should not artificially, you have to be careful though, because now I'm not working. So how am I maintaining myself? Well, we have got some donations. I've started this Patreon thing, and somehow or other it's working. So I have enough. Now, the place we've rented here, it's already been paid off for a year. I mean, fruits and vegetables don't cost so much. We're not planning on buying anything, so we live simply, and we try to preach whatever we can, and Krishna is maintaining that faith, that the Lord will maintain me, even though I'm a grihasta, even though I've got a family. That is good. That helps us advance spiritually. So another last quote on this. Livelihood. Okay, yes. That is that is from Srila Prabhupada. I'll be sharing now. Please allow me a break. Okay. So our business is to give service to God. When you come to this stage, then there will be Shanti. Otherwise, there is no possibility of Shanti. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Athaiva Shanta. Krishna Bhakta has no desire. Why he shall desire? He knows Krishna is there. Whatever I need, he will supply. And Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Tesham Nitya Bhyuktanam. Those who are constantly engaged in my service, I take care how to supply their necessities of life. Then why shall I disbelieve Krishna if I'm Kṛṣṇa conscious? Let me do my duty as servant of Krishna, and whatever necessities are required, he will arrange for them. If you become confident about this thing and completely engage yourself in Krishna consciousness, that is the stage of Shanta. That is the stage of Shanta. Completely dependent. Avashya Rakhibe, Krishna Vishvasa Palana. I surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam. So I give up everything, even my livelihood, I give up. Even my livelihood, I give up. Krishna says, Sarvadharman. So if I give up everything that I may be doubtful, then how things will go on? How I shall live if I give it? No, you shall live if you believe in Krishna. Rakshisyati iti vishvasam palanam. If Krishna says that I shall give you protection, so why shall I not believe it? This is called surrender, full surrender. That Krishna, let me engage myself in Krishna's service as Krishna orders. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam praja. Tvam ahadvam sarva papebhyo mukshayishyami masucha. So if we take this attribute from Krishna, then there is Shanti. Otherwise, there is no Shanti. It is called Sadvagunam Svacham. So I'm taking to this worship of deity, but at the same time, let me have something privately so that in case of my distress, if Krishna fails to help me, this money will help me. That is not Svacham. Svacham means clear. That is not chit. So you see, yeah, I'm worshiping the deity at home, and I'm filling the bank balance in case. So it's hard to hear these things, So, but we have to hear them because it's a fact. I'm experiencing it. I've seen it again and again and again, how Krishna has sent money our way. Sometimes when we went, when I became full-time again, I went to Guangzhou there, and we were paying the rent, almost 7,500 yuan a month, the place the temple was. So expensive. I did not know how to do. And some devotee, well-wisher from America, he called me, yes, I'll sponsor 1 year of rent for you. How did that happen? Krishna in his heart, he said, now you help that devotee. So things will happen, but we should not surrender all of a sudden. If we're not ready, we should not imitate. If we want, it's not that it's bad to work and this. It's not this. It's good if this is your level now. So you work, but spend money for Krishna. Don't keep money only. You spend. You give big donations. You'll feel good. If you give big donations, you give for temple worship, temple building, you buy books, whatever. Oh, the temple is organizing a preaching program. Okay, let me pay for it. You'll feel good because you'll please Vishnu. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu must be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to the three modes, or Arjuna. Krishna says. So if we don't do work for Vishnu, we will be bound up. If our work, the result of our work, we don't sacrifice for Vishnu, we don't use it for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, we'll become bound up. Okay. Next question. So Dimitri Prabhu is saying, one of the qualities of a Vaishnava is truthfulness. But we know from the example of Raghunath Das Goswami that he had to pretend to be a good householder. Actually, truthfulness is the quality of a Brahmana. A Vaishnava is above Brahminical platform, so he's above goodness. So Vaishnava is not very much interested in truthfulness and all these things. A Vaishnava is interested in pleasing Krishna. So if Krishna wants me to lie, I will lie. And that was tested to Maharaj Yudhishthira, right? We all know that. Krishna said, you go tell Drona that Ashvatthama is dead. Oh, how come? I never told a lie in my whole life. Ashvatthama is dead, the elephant, right? He added the elephant. He could not tell the lie. So Krishna tested him. So this truthfulness is on the material platform. It is good to try to practice truthfulness. In this way, we give up the propensity to cheat for our own sense gratification. But for satisfying the Lord, then yeah. Sanatan Goswami paid in black market, isn't it? He used his gold and he bribed the superintendent of jail or whatever, the man who was keeping him. I'll give you, that much money. You let me out. So that is dishonesty. This is bribery. It's the black market, right? Escaping jail and all. So that was not honesty. That was not truthfulness. He did it. So Vaishnava, if he has to lie for Krishna, no problem. He will lie. He will lie every day, all day. Because he's not considering these things, that what is good, what is bad. That doesn't exist in the spiritual realm. The spiritual platform, there's no such thing as good or bad. Is whatever you do it for Krishna, even though it's bad. So Arjuna killed millions of men on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's not bad at all. It's good because he pleased the Lord. Again, example of the gopis. We can only speak about it in a theoretical manner, but they gave up their husband, their children, and all. It's bad, materially speaking, but because Krishna was pleased, it's good. So the whole thing is to shift that consciousness. It's very hard to shift the consciousness from my liking to Krishna's liking. And that's the whole point. Surrendering is not an easy thing, to understand that actually whatever we do should be simply to please the Lord. We should not consider ourselves. That is very counterintuitive when it comes to material consciousness. We've always been brainwashed in thinking that you must take care of yourself, of your family, and this and that, self-centered. So we have to purify that thinking. And then you're saying, Dimitri Prabhu, sometimes we also have to pretend with our relatives. 7:14:6, isn't it hypocrisy? No, it's not hypocrisy. That's okay. There's a few you can lie in some places also. Where is that? In a marriage, right? Marriage to protect one's life, to control a woman. A few places where it's okay to lie. Wait, I don't know if I can find it. I'm sorry, lie. I don't think I can find it for now. But it is said that there's a few instances also that according to Shastra, not even just the transcendental lying that we spoke of, but that it's okay to lie. It's not even against Shastra. And I'm not sure where I can find this. I'll just try a little bit more to find it. Otherwise, I'll just give up. Anyway, if I can remember, like in a marriage, it's okay to lie. Right? The couple just got married. Oh, you all look very beautiful. Even though the wife might not be very beautiful, according to us, the husband's wife is always beautiful. But, it's okay to lie. Oh, yes, you're all beautiful. You're all, very. So then there is, to bring a woman under control. Of course, that's a statement that maybe Matajis will not like, but sometimes a husband has to lie to the wife, to calm her down. I lie to my wife sometimes, just in order to, because, of course, a lot should be explained on this topic, but sometimes there are some topic of spiritual life that should not be discussed with one's wife, because she will not be able to take it. Just like what I've spoken of just now, to not be too attached to one's wife, one's children. My wife, she knows that. She knows that I should not be too attached to her materially and my children. So these kind of things, how to discuss, right? I'll break her heart, isn't it? So I don't want to hurt her. So sometimes, in order to avoid such things that she will not be able to take, she'll not be able to converse on that level, because our relationship, after all, is not like that. It's not just guru disciple, it's husband and wife. So sometimes, in order to ease her up, I just so it's okay, because you're just like a child. We're lying to children sometimes also, right? My son, oh no, why this? No, because it's like this. Oh, okay, then he's appeased. All right. What can he understand? What can a child understand? So similarly, women are generally more materially attached. And there are some topics of spiritual life that if they start to discuss, that will not be beneficial for them, especially when they discuss with the husband. Okay. Okay. Okay, Lakshmi Gairi, are God aliens? Okay, so you please read Srila Prabhupada's books. I can see that you're fairly new here, so start by reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So Bhagavad Gita as it is, and then start reading, and you will get many, many wonderful answers. Even if you're right. Okay, Rana Gupta, how do we, to be practical according to Bhagavad Gita 136, state laws punishes you even if you're right? Okay. So Bhagavad Gita 136. So Arjuna is saying he doesn't want to be killing, right? How to be practical according to Bhagavad Gita 136, state laws punishes you even if you're right. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean in the present context. Here Arjuna is saying sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Okay. Are you speaking of killing? I do not understand exactly your point, Rana Gupta. Arjuna was not against the law. It was according to his own right to fight as a Kshatriya. And anyway, it comes to the law of strength, right? Where's the law? Nobody's going to punish Arjuna. Arjuna is the most powerful to punish. It was all lawful. It was all within the realm of Kshatriya Dharma. They were fighting. That's all. Arjuna was just confused. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, if 4 yuga repeat again and again, then Krishna take avatar every time and so on, and all demon also take avatar like Kamsa. No, it's not like that. It's not that each time there is one Kamsa, and it's not like this, There was one quote actually. Sanatan Goswami, I believe, discussed that. For example, we know that Hiranyakashipu, right? Who are they? They are the gatekeepers. So Jai and Vijay. So what is it? Every time Jai and Vijay have to fall down and then do the same pastime again? Sanatan Goswami says no, it's not like this. So this again, what do I know? I do not know much. What I know is that now we have these beautiful pastimes that the Lord has revealed. Krishna is the Father. He knows what is best for us. He has revealed those pastimes for us. So let's be satisfied with that. We are not even touching the border of understanding Krishna's pastime. So there's no need to contemplate what's going on in other universe, what's going to come back next time when he comes. Let us try to first of all realize what we have here. Krishna has given us enough. He knows how much we need to know. Just like it says, there's 400,000 species of human forms of life. How many do we know? Krishna is not going to start to give us all the information of all the planets that we have. Just like Prabhupada was saying just now, on our earthly realm, there's so many planets. That means there's so many planets with other societies, other type of human being. What do they look like? Do they have blue skin? Do they have purple skin? Do they have, if he gives us too much information, we'll drift away, isn't it? Oh, I want to go see that. I want to go see this. I want to go see that. I want to go see that. Okay. All right. Around what if I didn't go. Okay. Okay, Prashant Singh. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. As we know, Krishna is supreme. However, in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, it is written that Narayan is the supreme. How do we understand? Yes, in other scriptures, it is also written that Shiva is supreme. Sometimes it's written that Ganesh is supreme. And so how to understand all this? Krishna says that he makes one's faith steady. He says in Bhagavad Gita, if one has a particular inclination to worship a particular deity, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So the Lord does that, and he does that to Vedic literatures also. So there are different types of people. It's not that everybody can worship Krishna. So what Krishna, you cannot worship me, I'll just not care for you. No, Krishna wants all of us to go back to him. So in stages, that's what Vedic Dharma, that's why the Sanatana Dharma is the most perfect, because it accepts that there's different types of people. Other religions don't do that. You're not Muslim, finish. You're not Christian, you don't accept Lord Jesus, finish. Sanatana Dharma is all inclusive. So even for people who cannot be Vaishnavas, then there are other modes of worship demigods, and there's Karma Kanda, there's Jnana Kanda, and all of that. There's even Tantric, right? The Tantra Sastra has been written by Lord Shiva, because he takes care of the lowest. In the Tantra, it says, yeah, you can eat meat, you can drink wine, you can do so many things according to this time and that time. So it takes care of all sorts of people. And let's say I have this really good inclination for Ganesh. Let's say in my past life I've worshipped Ganesh for so long, and I want to worship him. Then if someone comes and say, no, not Ganesh, worship Krishna, I might not be able to take it. So because these people are too materialistic, and you can see, find a devotee of Shiva, find a devotee of Ganesh, find a devotee of Durga. What do? They are materialistically inclined. They have got their big businesses, they buy big cars, they do this, that. Their so-called devotion to their demigod is artificial, because they go to pray to them for material rewards. Except the devotee of Vishnu or Krishna, and even that advanced devotees, you won't find anybody else that is akama, without material desires. But devotees of Krishna, no, whatever Krishna wants, I'll do, even though it goes against their sense gratification. You cannot find this amongst the devotee of Lord Shiva. You cannot find this amongst the devotee of Durga. This is how we have to see. So yes, Krishna, even in Bhagavad Gita, he says, perform, perform your duty for his satisfaction. He's speaking about Lord Vishnu, for his satisfaction. But 7:7, what is he saying? And 10.8, what is he saying? So it's not that he just says that Vishnu is supreme. He also gives us the hint that he is the absolute truth. Here. So this is 7.7, you see. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strong on a thread. So he's saying there's no truth superior to him. This is from the Svetāśvatapara Upanishad. No, sorry. Okay. And then 10.8, he's saying, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti manva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. And not only that, we have here a mini quotation from, you see, here Prabhupada is giving us the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then Narayana Upanishad. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan desired to create living entity. Okay, this is Narayan. But then, if you read also, if you read the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Lord Brahma is revealing that he has the realization that the absolute truth is a cowherd boy. You know, he's surrounded by millions of cows and gopis. So, as I said, just like for the demigods, Krishna is helping us to get attachment for a particular demigod if that's my level. Similarly, Lord Vishnu will be sometimes praised and appear to be higher than Krishna for those who are in that rasa with the Lord. Dasya ras. Those who are in a servant mood with the Lord, they are attracted to Vishnu worship. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. This is their eternal nature. But again, just like I said, you compare the devotees of Shiva and the devotees of Vishnu, and devotees of Durga, devotees of Vishnu, and all, and you will see that devotees are capable of, first of all, giving up illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. All these things they can give up. Except there's no demigod worshippers that can do these things. And devotees of Krishna or Lord Vishnu, they can give up complete material desires and simply dedicate their lives for preaching. This does not happen with others. So in this way, you can see the difference. Similarly, Vishnu and Krishna. Krishna is complete because with Krishna you can have a servitor relationship. You can have a friend relationship. You can have a parent relationship. You can be like Krishna's parent, right? On the level of Madhu Yashoda and so on, by taking birth in Vrindavan as the mother of a cowherd boy or the father of a cowherd boy, you will look at Krishna with a parental affectionate mood, and you can love Krishna as a lover. You cannot do these things with Vishnu. That means Krishna is more complete. With Lord Vishnu, you can only have a dasya ras. So in this way, you compare and you see. Okay, all right. Now let's scroll down. Let's see if there's any. Okay. Okay, still some moon landing. Okay, Rames, is Big Bang Theory true? Not at all. It's just a theory. What does that mean, Big Bang, anyway? There was nothing and then there was something. There's no logic there. If the principle of creation and order comes from complete emptiness and chaos, then why do we have to work to make money come? Why do we have to work to achieve any result? And why when we plant a seed, apple tree comes. Orange seed, orange tree comes. Why is there order? And why is there work? Why is there intelligence behind every system of creation. There's law and order everywhere. So how can law and order, everything, emanate from nothingness? What does that mean, nothing? How can when there's a big explosion, now there's the war in Ukraine and Russia. As soon as an explosion, what happens? People look, where's the source? Who has done that? Okay, it's a small explosion that is killing a few soldiers and you're looking for the source. Now the biggest explosion, which, planets are coming out and then elephants and giraffes are being created and all, you're not going to ask who did it. Even if you say if there's an explosion, then who did it? What is the cause of that explosion? This is all nonsense. This Big Bang Theory thing, it's all what the modern scientists are trying to do is to make the universe as big as possible and as empty as possible so that their so-called chance theory makes more sense according to them. That's all. And they're making the evolution theory as long as possible and as slow as possible so that you become fooled that, oh, maybe how? Where is that monkey now on the planet that is slowly changing into a human being? Do you see one monkey that is different from another monkey that is like losing his hair or something? Or any other animal? Do you see any other animal that is slowly changing into another animal? In the past 5,000 years of modern history that they say that we have, has there been any recording of, a monkey changing and so on? No. But they say that 10,000 years ago, 10,000 BC, 12,000 BC, men look like almost, more robust with a lot of hair and this. Please, this is all nonsense. This is all craziness. The more we read Srila Prabhupada's books, okay, I know also you seem to be new, so please read Bhagavad Gita as it is from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay, I'm putting a link here in the description. You can buy Bhagavad Gita in English, in Hindi, in all language that you want. It's there, and it's in India, and they have very good prices, and they ship fast, I believe. So I'm posting here. You go there, Hare Krishna Books, and you buy the Bhagavad Gita as it is from Srila Prabhupada, and you read. Okay. Okay, here, Himanshu Prabhu is saying, and how those scientists got intelligence due to God, right? Otherwise, even one nerve in their body gets here and there, then they will become like Stephen Hawking's diseased. Okay, I believe you were replying something. That's not a question. So yes, Einstein, very intelligent, but who has giving him such a brain, right? He needs that big brain to be intelligent like that. So who has given him that? Okay, can we do chanting with Japa Mala during eclipse? Yes, chanting the holy name of the Lord, there is no rules and regulation. It can always be done, and it's always auspicious. There's nothing that can, if eclipse makes you not chant, you cannot chant. That means eclipse is stronger than chanting Hare Krishna. So no, all these eclipse and all, this is for Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. So for those who are doing all this puja thing of Ganesh worship and Surya puja and doing the fire sacrifice to go to heaven, for them, yeah, all this mind boggling rules are there. They have to know all the rules, this eclipse, this moment of the day, this, that, so many things. That's why Karma Kanda so dangerous. You do one mistake, finish. In the Bhagavatam, we have so many examples. They pronounce one mantra different, the complete opposite of the result that they wanted occurred. So chanting Hare Krishna, you can always chant. There is nothing that is wrong. No, it will never be wrong. Let me see. Okay, here, Prabhuji, I have a doubt. Can anyone have Sikha or only the Brahmana can? Generally, having a Sikha is a sign of surrender. It's a sign that now my life is devoted to Krishna. I surrender. But surrender means what? Surrender means taking initiation. So when one takes formal initiation, yes, he has to cut off his hair. He cannot take initiation with tuft of hair. You have to cut and keep the sikha. So from first initiation already. So not necessarily that one has to be brahmana. Brahmana, you mean second initiated. So no. But if you are very serious and you want to take initiation, but somehow or other it's not taking place now, you can also get the sikha if you want, if it helps you in staying motivated and showing your devotion, your surrendering mood. Why not? But according to, again, Vedic principles, yes, just a brahmana is supposed to have sikha. But you see, Prabhupada gave already sikha from first initiation. These are all strategies by the Acharya to stress the fact that a Vaishnava is above Brahmana. Just like the Brahmana thread for the Westerners. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced that, giving the Brahmana thread. He's giving the Brahmana thread to us, Mlecha and Yavana. Why? We're not supposed to have this. According to the Vedas, according like to Manu Samhita, we can never have this. So that's why in the Kali Yoga, we follow Pancharatra, like the instruction given by Narada Muni on how initiation has to be conducted and so on. So Pancharatriki Viti, this is what we follow, because if we go for the Vedic ways, rules, and regulations, then forget it. Even Hindus will not be able to follow. It's not possible. Manu Samhita, you eat onion, you lose your caste. What if somehow or other one day someone gives you onion and you eat, finish, you're not a Brahmana anymore. And it's so, you cannot follow these things in Kali Yoga. Okay. Okay, Abhyudhai Bhatt is saying, Prabhuji, please could you talk a few lines on Krishna from Srimad Bhagavat? What was he like, his daily routine, etc.? So there is one chapter in Krishna book that is actually Krishna's daily routine, I believe that they have also the Krishna book in this website that I've shared. If they have, please order it. Krishna book is story of, okay, we have it. They have it in Bengali. They have it, Krishna Gujarati. Yeah, they have it. So many. Let me see. Krishna book. Oops. Krishna, complete story of Lord Krishna. Bengali children. No, that's not the one. Anyway, they have. I'm trying to find the real Krishna book. Krishna book is a book that Srila Prabhupada gave us, and it's a summary study of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is all the beautiful stories of the Lord, his pastimes. And in this, there's one chapter. Okay, I found it. Yeah, one chapter that is only Krishna's daily activities, and you see what the Lord was doing, his daily activities in Dwarka especially. And if you read Krishna book, you will know much more than what I can speak. What can I speak about Krishna? So you go there, you buy this. I am ordering you to do that. So Abhyudhai Bhatt, I'm posting in the comment section here the link to buy Krishna book. You do this. Don't listen to the mind. You press on that link, you get your credit card, and you order it, and you start reading. You will learn. The Krishna book is my favorite book. It's such a wonderful book. It's only the pastimes of the Lord. I've read it about 9 times, and it's so sweet, because it's all about the Lord. I mean, it's one of the best books, I believe. Okay, Soirair, how to bath early in the morning, especially now when winter is coming. It's very difficult as we get ill. If you get used to it, you won't get ill. The trick is to to become warm fast after. So if you have a heater, let's say in your room, start the heater before you go take your bath. And then when you take your bath, you start with the feet. Don't put on the head directly, you'll get sick. Start with the feet and you test how cold you can endure. Cold is good, but if it's too cold, you'll sneeze and you'll get sick. So try to as cold as you can, if you can. Otherwise, lukewarm doesn't matter, Or you can start lukewarm and then slowly chill. Actually, if you take too hot in winter, it's not good. First of all, your skin's going to become very dry, and as soon as you get out of the shower, then you'll feel super cold. Actually, in the shower, you should not get too hot water. If you manage with lukewarm and then slowly get to the more chill, and then you breathe, and you do it fast. You're not there to stay an hour. Shower means what? It means you rinse, that's it. If you want to use a bit of soap with, and then rinse and go, finish. And then after that, the important is you get dry fast. You go in the room if you have a heater, and then you get dressed fast. You wear socks, wear a hat, whatever. You just do it. If you if you're serious about spiritual life, yes, you must wake up early and you must keep doing it. Okay, now I'm scrolling down and I see that I'm still far from. Hare Krishna Prabhu, how to overcome from habit of intoxication, how you came out from it. Your story is really inspiring. Please, God. Yes, by chanting Hare Krishna. That's how I came out. By chanting Hare Krishna and eating Krishna Prasadam and reading. You have to do these things. I used to be addicted to marijuana, ganja, right? Smoking. In Canada, they make it legal now. I used to be a big smoker, and I managed to give it up, and that was because of chanting. So you have to start chanting. Increase your chanting. If you cannot give up, that means you're not chanting enough. So you should increase all the way to 16 rounds, And if you're serious about it, then you take initiation. You contact us if you want, if you chant 16 rounds every day, you practice. Then at one point when you swear before the spiritual master, then you must follow after that. So that gives you also strength. Prabhuji, please, can you share the verse reference on lust? Thank you. That was Narada Muni, right? I believe that's the one I talked about, I believe, right? So this is 7 Canto 7:15, I think. Yeah. So here it is, 7:15:20. Okay. Is being emotional and humble is good for spirituality. Emotional. We're always emotional. We always have some emotion. What do you mean by emotional? If you mean emotional being artificially showing some emotions, that is not good, because that is duplicity. That is diplomacy. We don't want to do these things. We have to show feelings that we actually feel. Humility, yes, of course, we have to be humble. If we're not humble, we won't make progress. So, but that humility has to be learned in the association of devotees. Fake humility will actually be detrimental. So we need to learn what real humility is and how to develop humility by serving the Vaishnavas. If we serve the devotees, we will become humble. Nandini Mataji is saying, Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. Okay. I'm using to find this conversation. Thank you. Okay, so if you're speaking about the conversation that I'm speaking of, actually, I have what I show mainly, it's my notes that I have on Evernote, but the website that I use to find all of Srila Prabhupada's books is prabhupadabooks.com. I'm putting it in the conversation here. You can go on prabhupadabooks.com. You have all the books of Srila Prabhupada. But you can buy them also. Physical copies is better, in the beginning especially. Okay, here, if some devotee is too much attached to eating prasad, is this considered as lost? So if he's attached to eating just prasadam, no, that is not lost. But if he's attached to too much eating of prasadam, then yes, that is lost. So if he's attached just to prasadam, I shall eat nothing else but prasadam, that is very good. That is a determination that we all should have. But if he's attached to eating too much prasadam, then yes, that is bad. And that is lust. Yes, that will be detrimental to our spiritual advancement. A devotee should not eat more than what he needs. So that's why we should also learn to control our tongue, That's why some fasting days are there. But even fasting days is not what's going to help us control our tongue. The real thing is to use the tongue in the service of the Lord, by control the tongue, not otherwise. How can we atone for sins according to Prabhuji while being in Grihastha life? So for a devotee, there's no separate endeavor for atonements because devotional service itself is so powerful that it burns to ashes whatever sin we're committing. So we just have to keep doing what we're doing, our devotional activities. So we're not so much concerned with atoning for sins. But that doesn't mean that, I'm a devotee, I don't care. No. So let me see. Okay. Because, this is, let me share here. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.17. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contamination. So the point here is that in the Vedas, in the Karma Kanda section, there's a lot of things that, you must give charity, austerity, vows, and so on. So you can counteract, these are pious activity, meaning it's not devotional service. It's not done with the aim of pleasing the Lord. It's done with the aim of diminishing my sins. So it's not actually what a devotee has to do. So they cannot approve the desires in the heart. So what does that mean? That means the desire to commit sin will still be there, and therefore one will be committing sin again. So he's still entangled. But if one wants to surrender to Krishna and perform devotional service, then yes, he can give up sinful desires, which is the root of all sins. So all desires within this material world are sinful because material desires mean sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. Pure bhakti, however, is anyabhilashita shunya. In other words, it is free from material desires, which result from karma and jnana. One who is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires, and therefore he's beyond sinful life. Material desires should be completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerities, penance, and charity may free one from sin for the time being, one's desires will reappear because his heart is impure. Thus, he will act sinfully and suffer. So the same thing is done here. So this is 5.14.4. Every year the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all weeds. Nonetheless, the seeds lie there, and not being completely burnt, again come up with the plants sown in the field. So, when you till the land, you remove all the plants. If it rains and all, you'll just wait a few weeks, you'll see some plants are growing again. Why? Even after being plowed under, the weeds come up densely. Similarly, the Grihastha Ashram, family life, is a field of fruitive activity. Unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burned out, it grows up again and again. Even though camphor may be removed from a pot, the pot nonetheless retains the aroma of camphor. As long as the seeds of desire are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. So that is why this is linked a bit to the topic that we started with concerning why I surrendered as a preacher instead of continuing my duty as a grihastha. It has to do with this. Is that for a grihastha, that's why it's so important. There's two important things. He has to give money to the temple. He must, because this is how you start. You start by giving up the result, because work is separated in two things: action and result. So I go to the office 8 hours a day typing codes on my computer. This is my action. But I cannot give up that because I'm too attached to it. I'm attached to doing this work, and I'm attached to getting money for my family. Okay, you keep doing that. But the result, the second half of it, what you get is what? The money, generally, right? So at least this, Sanatan Goswami has set the gold standard of 50% has to be used and given in the Lord's service. So that is, if you cannot do 50, as much as you can. In this way, you'll slowly become purified from this desire to perform karma, actions. So when one becomes purified, Prabhupada said here, Anyabilasita sunyam, jnana karma anavritam. So when one becomes purified and he understands that this karma actually is not necessary, then he will surrender his life and become a full-time devotee, or in other words, a preacher. And the preacher's business is to simply preach and try to push forward this movement. And the Lord will maintain him and his family. So for a grihasta to not, there's no need of atonement, but what you have to do is to chant Hare Krishna. You must chant, if you're serious about spiritual life, you should get initiated, chant 16 rounds every day, and you should have DT. DT at home is very important if you live far from a temple. Otherwise, you can serve the deities at the temple near you. Okay. Okay, this is a whole. There are some questions here. Namaste Prabhuji. Why did Krishna worship Lord Shiva if he is the Supreme Lord? Yeah, so there's many. Why does a father carries the son on his shoulder if he's the boss in the house? Is it the son who's the ultimate? So the father will let the child sometime win. Also, he will fight, mock fighting with him, and then he will, I'm dead, you win. So these are all dealings. It's not a proof that if Krishna worshipped Lord Shiva, and I don't know where you saw this, that he worshipped Lord Shiva. I've never heard that. I've never seen that in the Bhagavatam and so on. But even if he did worship Lord Shiva, then it's just to show proper respect to his devotee. Lord Shiva is a devotee of Lord Krishna, and also he might want to be showing by example to others, who are attached to Lord Shiva, how Lord Shiva should be worshipped and so on. It's just like Krishna appeared through Yashoda Mai. Does that mean that Yashoda Mai is the origin of Krishna? No. So these are not proofs. This is not how we have to see. We have discussed a little bit earlier. This topic is long, so but there is ample evidences in the Vedas that Lord Shiva is also a servant of Lord Krishna. He's not independent. And clear proof is that Lord Shiva is always under meditation. If he's independent, what is the need of meditating? Meditation means that you have some goal to achieve, or that you have to maintain your situation by some endeavor. But Krishna doesn't need that. Krishna plays the flute and he's enjoying only. So he's fully independent. He doesn't have to meditate. Okay. As a beginner, in what sequence should I read Prabhupada books? So you should read Bhagavad Gita first. Then you should go to Srimad Bhagavatam and then Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Bhagavad Gita, as it is, I've given the link. Please, as much as you can, try to focus. Okay, I see that you are quite intense. 20 Arnav Deshmukh. You start by reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then you will understand why Krishna worshipped Lord Shiva, if that ever happened. Okay. If Ram and Krishna are the same, why should we worship only Lord Krishna? No, you can worship Lord Ram. We never said that you worship only Lord Krishna. It's not what we're saying. You can worship Vishnu, you can worship Varaha, you can worship Narasimhadev. But Vishnu Tattva, Okay. Okay, please tell me you are against ISKCON India. Okay, so this is a big topic here. As you might know, we are under the name of ISKM, not ISKCON. So that I will cover in a future live stream. So please join when I do that. Prabhuji, today in Vedic culture is Kartik, a day. Kartik, today? Today is finished. Today is Purnima, right? Anyway, Prabhuji, today in Vedic culture is Kartik, a day we go to ocean and do yagya. So the yagya in Kali Yoga is to chant Hare Krishna. That is the best yagya. It's easy and it can be performed everywhere. All these Vedic karma kanda, that is a big thing that the Hindus do not understand now, is that in Kali Yoga, all these different karma kandic activities are impossible to perform. You cannot do them properly. First of all, there's no Brahmana that can chant all the mantra properly. Any intonation has to be done exactly how it was pronounced in Vedic in days gone by, in old days. So there's no brahmanas that can do that. You don't have the paraphernalia. Everything is in a mess. So that's why Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting is the best. If you want to go to the ocean, you can go, but just chant Hare Krishna there. It's better than anything else. And this is there in the Kali Santanana Upanishad, it's not speculation. Here. Sorry. Kali. Kali Santarana Upanishad. Okay, here. Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Am I sharing? No. Okay, here. So this is from Kali Santarana Upanishad, you see. At the end of Dharpa Yoga, Narada went to Brahma and addressed him thus: O Lord, how shall I, roaming over the earth, be able to overcome the effects of Kali Yoga? Brahma replied thus: You have asked well. Listen to that which all the Vedas keep secret and hidden, through which one may cross the ocean of mundane existence, samsara, during Kali Yuga. It is through the mere recitation of the names of the primeval personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, that one transcends the evil effects of the Kali Yuga. So this Yuga is transcended, or the way of yoga, the yoga of this Yuga is the chanting of the holy name. Narada asked Brahma, what are those names? Brahma replied, Hare Ram, Ram Nam, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So sometimes Hare Ram comes first, as you can see, and sometimes Hare Krishna second. So that's not very important. The important is that we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. See? So it's according to Shastra. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through fast a little bit. So tips to advance spiritually, yes. Keep association of devotees. If you are Prabhu, again, I will be sharing our Telegram group. We have a group for Bhaktas. You can join that. And we will be more than happy to have you there. You can come. ISKM Bhakta group. Add. Group link, copy link. Okay, so I'm putting in the link in. This is only for Prabhujis, so Mataji, sorry. But Prabhujis, you can join this group here. This is a Telegram group. Please join and you can get Devotee Association. There you will get the tips and you will get the association needed for, advancing spiritual life. So it's not just that you stay alone and you don't do anything. No, you must hear from the devotees, like what you're doing now, attending this live session. This is very good. Chant Hare Krishna, get some beads, tulasi beads. This is what we need. And chant as many rounds as you can every day. You get Srila Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and you read. Your life will change, and you keep association with devotees in that group. Okay. How to deal with ghosts. Become Kṛṣṇa conscious. The ghost will leave you alone. That's all. You keep clean. Ghost means unclean place. You need to take shower. You need to keep your house clean. Don't keep your garbage hanging around. You go and throw it. Don't keep dirty clothes piling up. That's dirty. Especially when women, they have got their meds. They have to keep very, very clean because that attracts also ghosts. Urine, feces, blood, all these things attract ghosts. Dirtiness, lies attract ghosts. Violence attract ghosts. Sins attract ghosts. Just like there was a stampede in South Korea recently, right? For Halloween, about 150 people died. This is all ghosts, when they, every club, every nightclub, streets with bars, and there's so many hundreds of ghosts always there lurking. They like to be there, and they influence people. That's why these people who are drunk, they will act crazy sometimes, and they're waiting. They like to see these things. They influence one another. So this stampede kind of, I'm sure ghosts really like that, because many people die, many new fresh body, blood is there. Very, very scary world going on around us. We don't know, we don't see, but they're there. So chanting Hare Krishna, best thing is you keep Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna in the house always, 24/7. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ghosts won't come and disturb you. Yes, Sami Prabhu, cold shower is hard, but actually it's better than hot shower. It's better for health. I also have a big problem, especially when it's very cold, but I try my best, summertime, cold shower always. I always take cold shower. Actually, you feel energized, you wake up better, you become more healthy, but you need to get used to it, Hot shower, you become slumpy, you kind of fall sleepy again, and you come out, then it's even more cold. Lukewarm is also good. Okay, I think we have come to the end. Last one. Prabhu, mostly we are new devotee and non-initiated by Prabhupada, so still Prabhupada our spiritual master. Yes, Srila Prabhupada is the spiritual master, he's Jagat Guru, spiritual master of the entire world. So you take shelter of Srila Prabhupada for now, you read his books, you chant Hare Krishna on beads, and you associate with his faithful devotees, and you will make genuine advancement in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Okay. All right. So this is it. Thank you very much for joining. I'm very happy that this StreamYard has worked well. The internet has held up, my VPN also. That's nice. This new program is very efficient. I don't even need to download. It's from the browser itself. Now I'm using the free version. That's why you see powered by StreamYard in the corner here, right? There's a watermark. I might be paying for the full version in the future. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming. And we hope that you have appreciated the session. And we hope to see you again next week, so every Tuesday. So thank you so much to all. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripasindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantagati Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitāi Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.